In this video I will go through all the movements that a head referee makes during a Kumite match. At the start of a Kumite match there will be two participants, one on each side, one wearing the black sided part of the belt and one wearing the yellow sided part of the belt. The referee will look at them and say, "Participants ready? Nunchakus open in front." So the participants need to put their nunchakus open in front. And the referee will say, "Ready," which means bow. And then he will say, Hajime, which means begin. He does that by using his right hand in front of his shoulder and putting it back. Saying Hajime, so begin. So the start of the match will be participants ready, nunchakus open in front, ready, Hajime. So once again, they're facing each other. Participants ready, nunchakus open in front, ready, Hajime. So during a match, a lot of time the match is stopped. To continue again, also Hajime is used. But the sign during the match is a bit different than the one at the start. So during the match, the arms go wide and to the inside. So what you get is Hajime! Hajime! And the match can continue again after that. A lot of times during a match, a referee has to stop the match. It is done through the word Yame, which means stop. Participants need to stop at that point and go back to their positions. So the Yame sign is used by stepping in with the right leg, making a downward motion with your right hand. Yame! Yame! Also, if it's stopped because somebody is scoring a point, the referee immediately has to point to the person scoring. So when he walks back to his place, it is exactly known who was scoring the point. So for example, on that side somebody is scoring, say, "Yame!" and you follow the person back to its original spot. From there, the point can be given or denied if the assistant referee said there was no two overtakings or things like that. During the match, the head referee will have to ask the assistant referees if the participants are using enough variation in the match. This is done by looking at the assistant referee, pointing at him, and then putting your hand up, all 5 fingers up, for 5 variation. Then the assistant referee will give his sign, and you face the other assistant referee, also point at him, and again, put your hand up with the 5 fingers. And also, he or she will give the response if there is enough variation. If there is not enough variation, then the penalty will follow depending on the person. So, official warning, Chui, Keikoku, depends on the situation. A general Kumite match lasts 2 minutes and 30 seconds, unless of course somebody wins before that time passes. It is possible as a head referee to stop the time. This can only be done after the Yame sign has been given. So, Yame! And depending on the situation, at that point you can stop the time by using this. And you also say, "Stop the time," to the people that are in charge of keeping track of the time. At which situations would you stop the time? It's possible that the assistant referees are having a different opinion. You want to call them to you to see what the situation really was. Of course, it's possible there is material failure. For an example, a nunchaku broke or something fell off and it has to get a nunchaku, or in case of an injury. So the first aid person has to come to the tatami, and in that case you also want to stop the time. So, as a head referee, it is possible to stop the time. With this motion, you can only do it after the Yame sign has been given, and at a moment when you want to start the time again, you will make the same motion again towards the people in charge. Say, start time, and then after that you will follow with the Hajime motion. Waza-ari, 1 point. If somebody has scored a Waza-ari, it is given by putting the hand over the other shoulder, making a diagonal strike like that, saying Waza-ari. And you're using the arm that corresponds with the side that is scored. So if that side is scored, you say Waza-ari. You usually say yellow scores Waza-ari, or black scores Waza-ari, like that. The Ippon, 2 points. This is given once again by using the arm that corresponds with the side that is scored. Your hand comes from the side of the hip and goes up. So for example, yellow Ippon or black Ippon, like that. If 2 people score at the same time and Aiuchi is given, it means that nobody will receive a score. So, the referee does this by putting 2 fists against each other. Aiuchi! Aiuchi! Then he will continue the match and no point will be given. I've already shown the movements what you should do when somebody scores a point. But sometimes, after you've already set Yame, you find out that there wasn't a real score, or maybe you thought it was a score, but both assistant referees thought it wasn't a score, so you get a 2-1 situation. 1 thought it was a score, 2 didn't, so the 2 will win in that case. And you have to say it was not a good score, or not a clear score, so use that by making movement like that. So make a cross, make it down, and you say no clear score. If a person uses too hard contact, it is done by holding your left hand like this. Your right hand goes with a fist against it. You have to face the person that is using too hard contact. So for example, if this side is using too hard contact, say too hard contact, and if needed, after that, you can give the penalty, the Chui, Keikoku, etc. So first, facing the person that is in charge, that has made too hard contact, you say, too hard contact, and then you can give the penalty. The unofficial warning. There is no actual sign for this, but in some matches, especially ones that are not national tournaments, just smaller, mostly club tournaments, you can use the unofficial warning. Also sometimes used for beginners or small children, because you don't immediately want to give them penalties. So you can just say, watch the contact, use some more variation, things like that. So you can use the unofficial warning. There's no sign for that. The official warning. This can be done if an action is not severe enough to directly give a Chui, and you do want to give a formal warning. You have to face the person that is making the penalty. You look at that person, you make a rolling motion with your arms, then you stretch your right arm. Your left hand is against the elbow, like that. Official warning. You have to point at the person in charge of that. So you face the person, official warning, with the arm stretched and the left hand against the elbow. It doesn't matter which side you're facing, it's always with the right hand doing it. So Official warning. For a bit more severe actions, a Chui is used, which means warning. With the right hand, from here, with the index finger point out, you point to the person. So the arm is not stretched, the arm is bent, but not all the way up here. So like that. So you go from up, Chui. Face the person, Chui. The Keikoku is already a pretty severe punishment. You have to face the person that is in charge of the penalty. For example, yellow side. So we will look at the yellow side. Your hand over here. Once again with the index finger, you stretch out the arm. You say Keikoku 1. So, for example, yellow side, yellow Keikoku 1, and directly follows black Waza-ari. So always when somebody receives a Keikoku 1, the other party will receive a Waza-ari. The Keikoku 2 is similar to the Keikoku 1, only to the other side an Ippon will be given instead of a Waza-ari. So you face the one side and say yellow Keikoku 2, black Ippon. The worst penalty that can be given is Hansoku, which means disqualification. It's done by crossing the arms, the left side in front of the right, facing the opponent, saying yellow Hansoku. That directly means that the other side is the winner. So crossing the arms, the left side in front of the right, facing the person, yellow Hansoku. At the end, when there's a winner, he or she will be announced, putting the hand from the side, like that, by declaring the winner. Sometimes the match is undecided, it means ikiwake, a tie. Then both hands will be used from the hip and to the side. So, ikiwake, which means a tie, undecided. At the end of the match, we say Yame sormade, which means stop until this point. So what then used is one hand goes over the other, so Yame sormade, and then usually it is either ikiwake, so undecided, or a winner will be announced, like yellow winner or black winner. At the end of the match, so in case there's a victor, it will be done like this, as we already discussed. In case of ikiwake from both sides. And after that is always, well, you've announced the winner, for example, the winner, and then it's the end of the match. So we get a re, same as in the beginning. They bow, the Nunchaku-kas have to bow against each other. And that is the real end of the match. So always first winner and then re to end the match. For the head referee, it is really important to be in control of the match. Because of course he has to rely on his assistant referees, but when he stops the match by saying Yame, he needs to know why he's stopping. And he doesn't need to first look at the assistant referees, what's the score? Do they think it's a score as well? He needs to follow what he thinks. So if he thinks that person scored, say, Yame, he will follow that person. If then he sees that both assistant referees thought the other person was scoring, he can either say no clear score, he can follow his assistant referees, he will say 2 against 1, black will score, or he can ask the assistant referees with him to check what happened here. That's also always possible. You can always stop the time as well as a head referee to discuss things like that. But the most important is know what you're doing and don't solely rely on your assistant referees. You're in charge, focus on the match, and the assistant referees, they will check for the two switches from hand to hand and the variation. It is not something that you have to do as a head referee.